Welcome to Effective Video Editing Production. I'm Trainer Lori. In the second part of Effective Video Editing, we're talking about what happens during the shoot, including directing, using photo and design techniques, and making audio work for you. Let's look at some video editing terminology, including B-roll, which is supplement video to enrich the story that plays under a voiceover. Cutaway, a shot of something other than but related to the principal action, used as transitional footage to avoid a jump cut or for close-ups. Pan, the effect to move the image from one side of the shot to another. And zoom, effect to move into the shot and focus on one subject. Raw footage, video directly from the camera. While you're shooting, we want to look at three very important things: directing, using photo and design techniques, and making audio work for you. Directing is making the hard decisions. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But it's very difficult because you have to visualize how the script will be acted out and then decide the tone, the mood, the look of the entire video. And then you also have to select which scenes make the final cut, and also acquire music for the background. So directing is a very demanding job. In addition to making all the moving parts work together, you're supposed to make it all magical. It's important that you get a photo release from every person that you video. It can be as simple as this, and if you're doing this for company purposes, why not put it as part of your employee handbook so that you get that before you make videos of the team events. It's important to also know some photo and design techniques that a lot of people that are making film today may not know about. The rule of thirds, background, frame, and lighting are some very basic things that every photographer knows, and if you're going to be in video, you should know it as well. Rule of thirds means to look at your image and divide it into thirds as if it were a tic-tac-toe board. And you want to make sure that important elements go not smack in the middle, but at the intersection of the lines. Another important element is background. Make sure that you pay attention to the background. For example, you can get down so that your angle is up higher, or make sure that what is in the background is beautiful and you can still see the action in the foreground. Too many times I've seen a telephone pole coming out of the subject's head. Frame is an easy way to establish a shot and really give it some beauty. What it means is to have something in the foreground, even though you're looking at something in the background. And if you can see in this picture, it's the tree. And I had to move into a position so that I could get the tree into that foreground. Otherwise, it just looks like something way off in the distance. It can either be a tree up above, and sometimes I've actually just held a branch up, even though there may not have been a tree around, or it could be a bush or something on the ground as well. But make sure that you get something in the foreground to frame it. Lighting is critical. The worst time of day for filming is at noon, and you can see why. See the big circles under her eyes? And you have to be careful at dusk as well, but as long as you have enough light, then you can set maybe the mood that you're looking for. So what do we want to see in your videos? We want to see a short video, between 10 seconds and 8 minutes long, especially if you're going to be posting it on YouTube. No outright ads. People simply won't watch them. They'll just turn them off immediately unless they're really funny, interesting, or not obviously an ad. Anything that's extremely informative where they can actually learn something. Anything shocking or unexpected, those are the ones that I usually share because they're usually funny and didn't expect it, didn't see it coming. That's good. I want to share that with other people. Anything that causes emotions or shows emotions. And even the mundane in a new way. If somebody's just going to their mailbox, but something is different, they're dancing on the way, that's fun. I like to see that. How do we do something mundane, but change it up? It's important to make audio work for you, and if you're using the audio built into your camera, you may not be getting the best audio. So use an external microphone if you can afford it, and if you can, maybe a boom, either handheld or a lavalier, but make sure it has a windscreen on it so that you don't get that popping sound. If you have an external microphone, then you'll need a double system recording, And that means that you'll have the audio recorder, something, a digital audio recorder, and then you'll need a slate or clapboard so that it makes sound and you can sync them together. And also record in a quiet place. Make sure that you have the same ambient sounds, and you can separate the video from the audio in post-production. It takes a little bit more time, but if you have to use your camera audio, for example, if you're using some voiceover and you want the person's voice in the same kind of place, make it a quieter version of that same place. Like if they're out in the street, maybe you can take them into a side street where it's a little quieter, but it still has some of the same traffic noises. For comprehension and retention, lead your viewers down the path. In other words, take them by the hand and make sure that one scene leads to the next in a logical manner. When things jump around too much, it can get very confusing for the viewer, and unless they trust you as a director, unless they know that it's going to pay off in the long run, they're not going to sit there and watch. Abigail Posner, the strategic planning and agency development person for Google, says ditch the pitch. Instead, start an energy exchange. Create content that reminds us of our own capacity for excitement, happiness, and vivacity. So we want to share in it with others. And that's a really good point. This is why people want to share things that they see on YouTube or on Facebook. This is part 2 of my 3-part series. Thank you for joining us on this one, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you like it, please click like.